Hello everyone! Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to continue on with 7.3 MSQ. I don't plan on actually getting all the way through it today, but hopefully we can make another dent in it. Let me go ahead and double check the audio, make sure everything sounds okay. And it sounds just fine. Let's go ahead and get started. Last time we left Sveen and Wooklamont over here. So we'll talk to Sveen and then Wooklamont. You give so much of yourselves to aid those in need. I must endeavor to find my own small way to help, but I literally can't say no, so... Preservation, their purpose. Wooklamont assesses her surroundings with grim determination. Tuliolol would gladly welcome every last Alexandrian with open arms. But what of the nation the late queen was so desperate to preserve? What of the bright haven of peace and laughter? Wooklamont. I won't stand here and let her legacies be sullied any further. I will protect Alexandria. That was the promise I made her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. We both felt the people's joy as our own. Yet alone, we lack the strength to protect them. There is so much that I love in this world. Too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe. And that made me afraid. I needed someone who shared that love and fear. So together, we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Just a second, trying to fix something. My mic is like a whole, decibel quieter, despite the fact I changed, one thing that should only make it, 0.3 quiet. 0.3 lufs quieter. Doesn't make any sense. Man, sometimes I hate figuring out audio. I have a love-hate relationship with audio. I'm not talking that much quieter than I did yesterday. Whatever, it shouldn't be that much different. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wished that we could have been friends. Or more than friends. As all the... what's the ship name called? I don't remember. So when she turned to me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swore that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you needed. I would be yours as well, Sveen. Whenever you fall or struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue, and you do the same for me. That's how we'll protect the things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right. You're right. And don't forget about me, ... Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. Let me just double check the thing that I changed on the audio. Because it should have only reduced the thing by, literally 0.3. And I'm looking at it and it should only be 0.3 quieter. I don't know why it's a whole decibel quieter now. We should probably be on our way. Do we patrol or see if Shale needs a hand? There you all are! Guluja! Ah, splendid. We were afraid we'd miss you. Elsa and the others said you were here. Good news, Berlian. We finally found a chink in Calix's armor. We discovered laboratories on Everkeep's 10th level. that once housed Preservation Initiative. that once housed a preservation initiative. Containment Complex 1029, it's called, and it's falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. We don't think this is where Calyx is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction. I'm sorry it took so long just to get this far. If you're interested, what do you say we all go check it out together? Sounds good to me. Thank you for all your hard work. This is a huge step forward. And up! Yeah, because we're on the 9th level, because it's Solution 9. We need to take the lift. We need to take the lift to get up to the complex. What's this? I'm not doing his voice right. I've cleared this expedition with the relevant authorities, and have one of our people waiting to operate said lift. Let's not keep her waiting. So I don't think it's really that audible on the mic, but of course, my neighbors above decide that they feel like having him walking around in circles in the room above. Anyway, it looks like we're heading back to the same elevator we did for the Underkeep. Except we're going up instead of down. Yeah, let me just go ahead and... No, I'm not going to do that. Never mind. Alright, let's go ahead and talk to everyone. I'll share the method we used to find the containment complex once we're inside. It wasn't actually all that different to the story of how we stumbled across the back room. It sounds like Glowjob played a big part in this breakthrough. I'll be sure to treat him to a fine feast once this is all over. Oklahoma, please don't do death flags like that. I know neither of them are gonna die, but like... Shale made me her assistant. She was teaching me the basics of data management. How old are you again, kid? Preservation Laboratories. I shudder to think at what they were researching, but this is no time to be squeamish. An institute on preservation scale would have had many such facilities in the city, yet I cannot help but wonder if this one is where my parents worked. Kryl, you know, considering that in reality we're only ever going to visit like one of these, it's very likely that it was. Ready to head on up. Next stop, the 10th level. Proceed to Containment Complex 1029, yes.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories.
It's so dark I can barely see.
Too bad I don't have my flaming axe. Let's go over to the conveniently lit terminal. I'm sure it's not a trap.
Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit.
You got the lights working! Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Kryl and Galulja that we managed to locate this place.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City.
Mm-hmm.
As it was Preservation that constructed the portal, we reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
So I took a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in FFXIV, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols. After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860, the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galulja hadn't been around to assist me.
Man, they're really playing up Galulja's part in this.
I took breaks, but Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
You're a treasure, Shale. Sounds like you need one of Ginold's energy tonics. Yeah, let's try that.
Those concoctions would probably do me more harm than good, but I appreciate the sentiment. In any case, this next part will require your helping hands.
We need to spread out and search for something that may lead us to Calyx.
And of course, I'm going to find the one essential
We're
piece.
more than happy to help, of course. But I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
You know, I was kind of wondering that. Doesn't he have eyes and ears everywhere?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
You all know our main objective. We're here to pick up Calyx's trail. And I've learned of a certain device that should help us do just that. I'll explain how as we proceed. But according to the information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. Now, as for where that might be, yes, this map matches my data. Man, I'm just having real trouble reading today. This room we're in is in the Researcher's Commons, located in the western side of the complex. The director's office is to the northeast of here. So we should cut across the circular chamber in the middle, yes? Yes, we should, but unfortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We'll need a security key with the appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, there'll probably be a card of some kind. Can't you work some electro magic? I'll try my best, but this type of lock is well before my time. It may take a while to crack it. And in case I can't, you might want to look around and see if anyone left a security card behind. Considering the state of the place, it does seem like they abandoned it in some haste. I shouldn't be surprised if we found one. Very well, let's get to searching, shall we? Yep, let's get searching. Time to search like 3 random things and magically find the thing I need to find. I expect we'll have more luck looking where the researchers kept their personal belongings. You mean, are there some lockers around? You begin searching Containment Complex 1029. Close cooperation will be necessary to overcome the obstacles barring your path forward. Helpful hints will appear in a different color. Yeah, that was pretty obvious. Pay close attention to the information provided by your comrades should you find yourself unable to proceed. How is this gonna work? I assume it's gonna be either the desk organizer or the half-open drawers. I don't think they keep it in the recycle bin. The small shelf unit holds some office supplies and little else of note. Okay, I'm gonna make sure to talk to everyone first. See, what if they're just here to give hints, or if they're gonna have some other interesting dialogue. Was this really a preservation laboratory? I thought there'd be something more. I don't know special about it. These shelves are almost entirely bare, but I'll examine the files to be certain. I know it's not going to be in their recycle bin, but let's go ahead and check it anyway. You scan the bin's interior, hoping to find some card-shaped rubbish. It appears to be empty. I mean, it doesn't really make sense for it to be there. Nothing in there, then. I'm not surprised. I'm not even sure where people would keep their personal belongings in this day and age. Like, you're not that out of touch, Sphene. Perhaps the researchers kept their personal belongings at their workstation. Gee, I wonder which one it's gonna be. Maybe it's abandoned paperwork. That might work too. Let me check Book Lamont first. No luck so far. This bin has nothing in it at all. The terminal screen displays what appears to be the index page of an employee manual. Personnel protocols. For security reasons, Containment Complex 1029 has been registered as a materials distribution center. Keep this in mind and conduct yourselves accordingly, both inside and outside the facility. Each employee must perform their tasks within their designated workrooms, the Researchers' Commons, the Proto Lab, or the Deutero Lab. Entrance into another workroom without official clearance is strictly prohibited. Carry your security cards at all times. Your clearance level dictates the areas to which you have access. Equip your regulators at all times. Due to highly confidential nature of the research materials and other data managed within this complex, Preservation retains the ownership of, and the rights to modify, the memories of all registered personnel. Isn't this like every CEO's wet dream? Be able to have complete control over everything their employees do? You know, just to wipe out their memories of, not being paid anything. Research objectives. Access denied. Please log in with your personal account to view. Leadership personnel. Complex Director Demertius, I think we heard that name before. Proto Lab Chief Eosfer. Deturo Lab Chief, redacted, interesting. Alright, let's talk to Shale, and then we'll check on the notice board, which is definitely not going to be that. Ugh, the arcane circuits in use here are decades old. I'll keep at it. But a security card might be the only way we're getting past this lock anytime soon. Yeah, the notice board isn't going to have it, but let's go ahead and check it anyway. A few indecipherable notes remain pinned to the notice board, but nothing that resembles a security card. You better not give me a hint after looking at that. Okay, so I would guess it's probably the half-opened desk drawers, but I'll check that. Which means I'm going to check the abandoned paperwork first. A few documents sit in an untidy stack atop the desk. You find no security card hidden among them. Yeah, it's obviously going to be the half-open drawers, because this is the closest thing to personal effects. This appears to be the only desk with the drawers already open. You can tell at a glance that this desk's former owner has left some things behind. Rifle through the half-open desk drawers. I guess this is your warning. This is the correct option thing. You discover a card-shaped object. The electrode surface is marked with the bold level 1. Oh, could that be what we're looking for? Try it on the door and see if it opens. Okay. Hey Shale, guess what? I got that card. Let's try it out. A scanning device. The card-shaped object you hold looks to be of a similar size to the scanner panel. Let's use it. You hold the card-shaped object up to the scanner. It's open! You did it, brilliant! And good thing, too. I was getting nowhere with the outdated circuit. I'm curious, though. Why would they abandon a facility like this? It was run by Director Demetrius, or so the terminal there told me. Perhaps there are more answers to be had once we venture further inside. Man, I'm really stumbling over everything today. It's really frustrating. Let us continue onwards. The door to the director's office is across the central hub. Alright, let's head on inside. See what we can dig up. Now, supposedly the director's offices are here, but judging by the fact that the map has every single section here, we're probably gonna have to do some long convoluted thing where we have to check every single room to upgrade our keycard, which is gonna be a real slog. Looks like every room can be accessed from this hub. This must be the door to the director's office. Go on, try that card. Of course it's not gonna work. Not a single soul here besides us. Going by the room labels on that map, we haven't entered any of the actual labs yet. Another locked door. We could try the same card again, but yeah, this is what I'm thinking. Let's try it, but it's obviously not gonna work. They gotta pad this section a bit more. You hold the level 1 security card up, but the scanner beeps in disapproval, to no one's surprise. No good? Maybe we need a different card. Yes, the scanner is demanding level 3 security clearance to open the lock. Yes, the scanner is demanding a level 3 security clearance to open the lock. As much as the delay chafes me. Chafes? Sure. Let's go with chafes. We'll just have to comb through the nearby rooms and hope we stumble upon the card we need. Let's start our search in the Proto Lab. That door is already open, at least. We will find a way through together. Shale, I'm sure of it. Alright, let's head into the Proto Lab, see what we can find. Probably gotta look for a level 2 first. Because you gotta pad it as much as possible. Yes, I'm gonna call this section padding because that's exactly what it is. Please excuse my impatience. The means to track down Calyx are close, and I'm itching to get my hands on them. Understandable. What are you looking at, Wooklamont? These notes... That's Gulja's voice. These notes seem to be about the research they did in here. Let's take a look. Experiment 148. Submitting inference candidate 201930 to be considered for efficiency procedure review. Experiment 158. Maximum value of 11509 recorded. Comparative study to be included in the report. Alright then, yes, Pokemon, I'm sure you're understanding all of this. Oh, and one more. Experiment 163. New proposal produced a result of 9834. Decreased value verified. Well, I have no idea what any of that means. We know Wooklamont. Maybe it will make sense later on. Well, considering they highlighted all the numbers there. I haven't said it. It's probably going to be relevant. This machine feeds into a soul cell. I'm reminded of my imprisonment by the Empire. You know, I was actually thinking of that. Surely this device wasn't made to hold people. Let's go and check this data tablet first. It appears to be a researcher's personal data tablet. Skim through. Well, I guess that's the point of no return. Let me go talk to Gulja and Sphene first. I dug through this data tablet and found a journal. I'll read it to you. The results of experiment 158 show a marked improvement in ether extraction rates. At last, we have achieved the target value set by Master Calyx. Okay, so 158 has the correct number, and I'll need to go back and see what Wooklamont said 158 had. Though I will become endless as per our ascendancy protocols, I will preserve this historic number along with my few remaining worldly effects. Preserve the number? Okay, let me go ahead and talk to Sphene first. Hopefully this doesn't progress anything. the way this room is set up. The canister inserted into the large device looks to be a soul cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless? But we could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into the director's office must take precedent. Speaking of which, Littlejaw mentioned a locker over in the corner that he couldn't open. Perhaps you could take a look. Okay, yeah, okay, so that's where we're supposed to do it. Let me go ahead and grab the number real quick. These notes, and it was 158, I had the correct number. Okay, 11509 is the one that we want. Let me write that down, and then 509. And then let me check the data tablet. Personal data tablet? Yes, let's check it. Today I began my employment at Preservation. The organization was unfamiliar to me, but when the recruitment letter arrived, I had a gut feeling that this place would be far more fulfilling than any orthodox medical practice. My instincts were correct. Master Calix's philosophy is the refined ideal of notions I've only ever vaguely entertained. That mankind must evolve beyond the shackles of its flesh and blood existence. I had a meeting with the director Demetrius today. I've heard others praise his genius intellect, yet he seems but a guttering candle in comparison to Master Calix's blinding brilliance. This morning, I was permitted to access the top floor and observe the works of living memory. As predicted, the shortage of ether required... As predicted, the shortage of ether required to sustain the Endless is reaching critical levels, yet Queen Sphene insists on continuing their ineffectual flailing. Our Malala colleagues, including the Protolab chief, well, there we go, the Malala colleagues. It's gonna be Sphene's, not Sphene, Kryle's parents. Our Malala colleagues, including the Protolab chief, have been behaving in a decidedly suspicious manner of late. Should I report my concerns to the director? From tomorrow, I have been assigned to assist with the research project in the Deturo Lab. We are scheduled to conduct a major experiment, the details of which I have been kept ignorant. It would seem prudent to back up my memory data. Yes, he is going to be the experiment. You've reached the end of the journal. Well, yeah, that was the end of him. Correct combination. Yes, enter the combination. It's like the numbers on the keypad. Okay, so 11509. 11509. There we go. And there's our key card. Honestly, I know I called this padding, but this is actually pretty interesting. Where they're actually having us like go through and like solving a puzzle and investigating stuff. It's not much of a puzzle, but it's a bit more than what you would usually get for MSQ, with, you know, usually just going and talking with people. The locker pops open. Inside, you discover a level 2 security card. Brilliant! You got the locker open. And you found another security card. Oh, but does that say level 2? We needed a level 3, didn't we? Yes, but it should still open more doors for us to explore. You did well, Berlian. Of course. These preservation members led such a surprisingly normal lives. Oh, I'm sure we'll get to the weird stuff later. Leaving notes, losing their cards, I guess I imagined they'd be more, what's the word? Bloodless? Mechanical? No, that's just Calix. My parents were once part of Preservation, if you'll recall. It would seem the researchers who agreed with Calix and his philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assume those who could not, or would not, eventually left the organization altogether. Oh, I almost forgot. The researchers kept journals in their data tablets. Yes, we just read one of them. The one I read, it doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it was decided that everyone would become endless. The writer was really happy about this. You can tell how much they admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, and maybe you can read more in the other tablet here. The other tablet there. Except I just did. Right, let's move this investigation to another room. Well, we have the Deturo lab and the maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. So it's back to the hub and the locked door across the way, which will hopefully yield before our new security card. I'll take the old one if you like. I doubt we'll have any more use for it. I mean, I guess so. Also, when did this become SCP Containment Breach? Going and getting key cards to navigate through this thing. Yeah, we already read everything on that data tablet. He was a serious Calyx simp. Anyway, let's head back to the center and see what door we're supposed to go through now. And talk to everyone again. Calyx hasn't bothered to show his face yet, I see. Maybe he hasn't noticed us, or maybe he's just watching and waiting, or he doesn't care. What else do they have in this place? If I read that map right, it must be a lot smaller than Yuyawata Field Station. If there were others besides my parents who left preservation, where might they be now, dead? It seems not everyone who joined preservation became endless right away. There must have been research that required physical bodies. The scanner awaits. Hold the security card up to the panel and it should unlock the door. Yes, it should. Scanning device awaits silently. Security appropriate level of clearance. Yes. Yes, it opened. So where should we go first? The Deturo lab or facilities? Well, it's not gonna matter because we're probably gonna have to go to both of them. Let's start with the lab. I think I'm complaining about padding here just because I'm really tired. Because this is a bit more involved and interesting than what we usually get for MSQ. What is it, Gluja? Shouldn't the security card open this door as easily as the last one? How strange. This door is not lit up like the others. What does the sign say? Shale, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, none at all. It's possible the energy supply from this room is on a separate conduit, which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here. There's a sign above the card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. Well, let's head to facilities. The facilities room is down the other branch of this corridor. Let's see about getting the power restored to the Deturo lab, shall we? Okay, so the key card is actually in the Deturo lab, but we have to make a detour to go into the other one. Alright. Okay. Yeah, I'm really tired. I'm doing some big yawns. Yeah, obviously this is going to be a rotate and change the puzzle or whatever. Oh, good. The terminal is lit up. This means we have power in this room. Well, also maybe the lights. The Deturo lab must have required greater amounts of energy to operate. What kind of experiments were they conducting in there? Probably some untold abomination horror thing. Those are some big flashy floor tiles. I wonder what they're for. Maybe it's a puzzle? So this room was for managing the power supply and utilities. I hope they kept security cards in here as well. No, it's not in here, it's in the other room. Anyway, Shayla, can you let me rotate those things and solve this puzzle? Engaging power supply. No good. It's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. Maybe it's the tiles? According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. You know, those things on the floor. Shale? That's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, it's the same model as the one used in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall, directly to the Deturo lab. Which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable, and that's why they have those convenient tiles there. What about the patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit we needed to reconfigure? Yep. I believe you have the right of it. What I wouldn't give for an instruction manual. Indeed. If you could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal's directories. Might I ask someone to operate the generator? I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path, Brilliant? Well, of course, I'm the one who has to solve the puzzle. The rest of us can help by supplying Brilliant with whatever information might be found on the circuitry configuration. I mean, if you just let me go to there, I can solve it. Looks like it's just either rotate or sliding puzzle. Okay, so is it rotate? You must arrange the floor tiles in the correct positions, access the control panels, and configure the circuitry. Yes. Which tile will you set? I'm not going to do any of those right now because I'm going to go talk to that Sphene over here. I was able to glimpse part of a warning sign behind the containers. From what I can make out, it said, "Caution, circuit will not function with duplicate patterns." Okay. Okay, so I gotta do one of each. I suppose that means only one of each pattern can be set on the same time. Okay, that makes sense. The generator doesn't seem to need any fancy settings. As long as it's running and the circuit is fixed, we should have a power supply ready to go. Okay. Not you, Booklemon, you got anything useful? Brilliant. Take a look at this diagram. Or is it gonna literally tell you this? Oh my, it's literally gonna tell you the solution. Even though the square is the only one that has one that could fit up with the generator. Like, come on! There's a note in the bottom left about backup power. Configure the 4 circuit control panels to provide an uninterrupted path. These symbols must represent the room we're in. Gee, really? Sorry, this just feels like, hey, you're too stupid to solve this. Here's half the solution. Like, literally, you can even see it's diamond, circle, square, and whatever the last one is. Like, come on! If that square at the top left is Shale's terminal, then the bottom right should be the generator that Galuja is working on. It's hard to make out the rest. Assuming there are four tile patterns, the bottom right is a square. That's something to get you started at least. Like, literally, there's only 16 patterns you can do on this. If you can only have one of each. Like, it's not that hard to do. These appear to be data logs from a former age. My scholarly interest is piqued by a few of the labels, but none are relevant to the task at hand. I've also had no luck locating more security cards. We shall have to rely upon our backup power strategy, I'm afraid. Okay, well, let me just go quickly solve this. Well, oh yeah, I didn't talk to Shale. I've locked in the energy supply route and adjusted the current for optimal flow. Everything should be ready for when you've reconfigured the circuit. Now, do I have to rotate these, or is it just... Do I have to rotate these, or do you just rearrange them? Yeah, you must arrange. Okay, this one's going to be square. Yeah, so like... It's not that hard to do. That means this one had to be diamond, and that means this one probably has to be circle. Yeah, so like it's not that hard. And this needs to be triangle. Oops, I clicked the wrong one. Yeah, this is a let's try including patterns in this. Oh, I need to swap it said one of each, didn't it? That doesn't make any sense. That means square has to be over here in order to match up with this, right? Okay, I know I just made fun of this for being really easy, but didn't it just say that it said that square was over by shale? Yeah, I thought it said that the square was over by shale. This is how I read it originally, this was the generator. At the bottom left, backup power. Okay, the bottom right is okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was, but then I got confused by the hints. Yeah, the hints made it more confusing than... Oh, that's the wrong one. It's supposed to be diamond. The hints made it more confusing than if I just tried to solve it myself. You have connected all the circuits. Inform your comrades of the successful reconfiguration. Yeah, they should have... Like, I didn't even need the hints there. It actually made it more... It actually confused me more than it helped me. It worked! We did it, Brilliant. You did it. You did... What did you do? You all just stood there and gave me annoying hints. The tutorial lab should now be fully powered. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shale, could we access a certain data log before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves, and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation, the Early Days is the title. Of course. It'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. Ah, it looks to be a text-based account. I'll read it out. Preservation, an Alexandrian Institute for Technological Development, was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing the organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the Storm Surge, with Calix's designs for new defensive solutions funded in large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calix funneled Preservation's resources toward the perfection of memory storage. Research into the field continued even after the Storm Surge came to an end, with Calix eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So this account is from before he embraced his endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him only once, before the Storm Surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calix could not have been more than 10 years of age, and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness. Yet still, he published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now, I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was that when war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit to his unwavering support to this somber youth and his proposal for preservation. 7 years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne, I suspected they spared me the reports on endless research and other less urgent matters. So you had no way of knowing what kind of person Calix was changing into? Did he change? I wonder. Perhaps he has ever been the type to value ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but it is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs, that mortality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from this fate. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? If I've done my job correctly, the door to the Turo lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything a once over just to be sure. I'm sure you did a great job, Shale. Alright, let's head back down the doorway and apparently wrap this quest up. What a weird place to end this. Let's talk to everyone and talk to Shale. That means the next part's probably gonna have some big emotional, like, cutscene or something. Had his body not been fated to fail him so young, would Calyx have pursued his endless project with such fervor? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Everything we read in this place sings Calyx's praise. The people who worked here must have truly idolized him. That Alexandria survived the war was in no small part thanks to the defensive measures developed by preservation. In that regard, I shall always be grateful. Yes, the door has power now! Right, Shield has power, you did everything right? The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. The security card, if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer that a shorted wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. Well, that's a nice thought. Alright, let's grab some. I think I still have a couple. No, actually I used up those mesquite soups. Yeah, I'll just grab the mesquite soups, who cares? A calculated evolution. Shale is examining the card scanner. Right. I'll get this door open. Phew! Smooth as silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. Alright, let's head inside. Is this gonna be a cutscene? Yes, it is. Take a quick drink. Gods above! Isn't that... Don't tell me it's Calyx or something stupid like that. Oh, it's the key. Another key? The key to interdimensional fusion? What, do they have two? This looks to be the schematic on the monitor. Okay, you'd think Calyx would be very interested in this. But clearly it's missing the thing that it needs in the middle, that thing that's on the screen there. And they've used it to make another key. But isn't it missing the shard inside the one... like the one Brilliant has? Okay, now we're gonna get the big secret on how they make that. It's gonna be like sacrificing 1,000 lives, some like Philosopher's Stone, Full Metal Alchemist thing. Ah, we may have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Malala relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. That's right. We learned that in the one of the living memory sections where it gave us a bunch of Malala lore, where it turns out that they're actually from the source, and they came to the 9th. I forget what reflection number they are, and then with the relic that they found, they reverse engineered it so that they could create their own key. Power across dimensions, yes. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components are constructed here. So what might that tell us? The crystal itself is the key, yep. And the device is just made to control it. Yep. The crystal itself is the secret ingredient. I'm sure Y'shtola will be happy to hear that. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. It is as my parents explained. The key remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with electrope, but never grasped the technology's underlying principle. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion. Not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Calix can track the key because its vessel was made by preservation. I believe there is much we may learn in this room. On our next visit, I will have to enlist Y'shtola's assistance for a thorough investigation. Oh, I'm sure she'll be happy to come. I too am curious about a great many things, but pinning down Calix's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully there is a security card here that grants access to the director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged to the organization's upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any card that they left behind. Remember, anything less than level 3 is no good to us. Alright, let's take a look around. Alright, let's talk to Cooljaw first. So they got some 3D printers here, just like we saw in the back room. Why were they making so many vessels? Did the other ones not work properly? That's a good question. I'll search through these drawers. One of us is bound to find something, I'm sure of it. Well, yeah, that'll be me. Maybe someone left a card on the shelf somewhere. Why would they leave this really high... Why would someone leave this really high key card just leave it around? I keep holding out hope that I'll find some evidence of my parents here, despite knowing there is none. Oh, right, cabinet drawers? Do you have what we need? You find a security card in the cabinet drawer. Oh, did you find a security card? Well, that's a stroke of luck. Let's have Shale examine it to be sure. Oops. I accidentally got it right on my first try. Oh well. Well, if it isn't exactly what we needed. Nice work, Brilliant. That little jab at how I always find the player character always finds exactly what we need. Oh, a level 3! That should get us into the director's office. So, what was it you were hoping to find in here again? In there? So, what was it you were hoping to find in there again, Shale? You were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right. I haven't properly explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. After we discovered this ostensibly abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection to an outside network. Interesting. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed traffic from a web of Everkeep's security cameras. Considering the way Calix is always one step ahead of us, we must assume he's quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system and has been using it to monitor our activities. To monitor what you, as the key holder, are planning. I don't plan anything, I just follow whatever you guys tell me to do. But since Calix is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him. Which is why I need the data relay. If I can analyze the device and see where it's rerouting all this surveillance traffic, then you can pinpoint Calix's position. Except he's like in a computer, isn't he? That said, He has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think I might be on entirely the wrong track. Unless he wants us to find him so that he can kill us and trap us. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't? Back in the old castle, Calyx said he was measuring Brilliant's strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than her? I like the way you think, Wokelmod. Oh, speaking of cameras, there's another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. The most recent recording was also crudely deleted. I was all able to restore the data, though, if you'd like to see it. Uh-oh. Time to see some unspeakable horrors. I'll start the show then. Now we get to see how they make those keys. Uh-oh.
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life. It's begun to frighten me. I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
What kind of hentai protagonist haircut is that?
Your argument is a rejection of Master Calyx's vision.
I suppose it is. Perhaps such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject. But I cannot. He and I are too different, in too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius. I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research. I have nothing but respect for his determination. The way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come. Surely you...
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, no one leaves preservation. You know too much.
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exceptions.
One does not simply leave preservation. She only wanted to leave, and he executed her? Yep. This is the kind of people we're dealing with, Sphene. I checked the images against the personnel data, and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Demetrius himself. Everything I could find on him pointed to a deep infatuation with Master Calyx. The cameras in this room have been out of operation ever since that incident. Given that the recording was erased, I can only assume he was trying to conceal his grisly deed from other researchers. It's just protocol. I'm not surprised, given how my parents described their defection from the Institute. They spoke of rushing me through a portal, even as preservation agents closed in on them. I dared not ask what became of them after that, but if it turns out they were captured by their pursuers. I'm sure they managed to escape, except we literally found them dead, but okay. They did not regret their actions, well, that's for sure. That's a lot nicer way of saying it. Right, the echo. Knowing you saw them as they were, your words give me great comfort. Oh, Kryl. Worry not, Sven. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was at least able to meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It is enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents and preservation. What we do know is that your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movements. They made sure no one could cross into the source or threaten their child's safety. Right, let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the director's office! Yes, to the director's office. Okay, let me see where we are at MSQ. How many quests we've done. Okay, so that doesn't wrap up this quest. That means we're still going. Like, this is a calculated evolution. And that puts us at... Oh, we're a little bit farther than I thought. Okay, yeah. Obviously we're gonna finish this quest, and then maybe do the next one as well. Hearing Kryl talk about her parents reminded me of how much I miss Namika. I guess I'll never really get over it. If the man in the recording was Director Demetrius, then this must be his office. My earlier investigation put the data relay just past this door. Let's get it open, shall we? I don't expect to find any information on my parents in this next room, either. And that's something I can be proud of. Was Calyx the one who gave orders to execute defectors? The more we learn about him, the less I understand. I mean, he was crazy. Scanning device, wait silently. Yep, let's hope I don't get shorted out like Shale. Oh wait, no, that was because we did the emergency power. Build the level 3 security card up to the scanner. There we go. Let's head inside. Now to find that data relay. And don't be shy, everyone. Speak up if anything odd catches your eye. Brilliant. Come with me. I might have need of that security card. It's gonna be another cutscene, or nope, apparently come with me means I'm gonna leave you behind. Okay, let's make sure to try and talk to everyone before I get the right choice. Oh, my apologies. I was thinking about the key. This is a report on reducing people to ether, and how much energy can be harnessed per individual. Huh? This director Demetrius was very particular about how he decorated his office. We've got incense and vases and some sort of gem display. I mean, he likes his rocks. Something odd. Well, Shale, you find something odd? Damn. This terminal isn't connected to any outside networks, so it can't be the data relay I'm looking for. This office is also smaller than the map suggested. Oh, that means there's a secret room. I'm positive we're in the right room. What am I missing? Sorry, Brillian. Could I ask you and the others to search the office for any clues about this infuriating puzzle? Well, maybe it's the, very obviously hinted at secret room. Anyway, they're trying to get the one that isn't the correct option. The collection of soul cells may have once belonged to the director. They appear to be empty. Let's see. There we go. There's another one here. You find a crumpled note wedged between the file binders. Secure room. Oh, man, they're just literally telling you everything. Like, come on. Secure room lift access. Require passwords to be input simultaneously at terminals in the Proto Lab, the Deturo Lab, and the Director's Office. Perhaps this discovery would be interesting. Oh, apparently that was the right answer. Beverage station. Having lain dormant for years, the now active coffee maker has already entered a self-cleaning cycle. It appears to have no other purpose beyond brewing coffee, but remains to be seen when it will be able to do so once more. Oh, okay, apparently you still have to check everything. And that's the one that I really needed to check. Amongst other personal effects, you find what is presumed to be the Director's data tablet. A closed locker stands next to the tablet, next to the table. Examine the data tablet, obviously, and then this is gonna like open up to a secret room or something. You pick up the data tablet and begin skimming through the contents. Daily reports. Nothing of note. The mystery of the key's activation condition remains unsolved. The key triggered an explosion today. Temporary interdimensional portal verified. Continue attempts to stabilize the core's energy reactions. 13 researchers sustained fatal injuries in the explosion. Memory faculties of 4 personnel sufficiently intact for endless conversion. Remaining 9 designated for ether reclamation processing. How lovely. Nothing of note. Rejected resignation of 2 Malala. Oh, there we go. Major incident. Details in full report. Those 2 inept Malala broke with preservation and absconded with the key. Though the fugitives have since been caught and eliminated, we were too late to recover the relic. The only reason we retained our flesh was to serve Master Calyx as physical instruments to conduct his experiments. Deprived of the object of our research, our existences served no further purpose. I dare not imagine the depths of his disappointment in me. The complex is to be shut down. All personnel will have their bodies reduced to ether, which will be allocated for further experimentation. Memory data will be archived. Any endless conversions will be subject to Master Calyx's discretion. If he does not deem us fit, then we are not deserving of eternal life. How lovely. All personnel have undergone processing. Once the shutdown protocols have been completed, I will proceed with my own corporal dissolution. As long as the key remains in the physical world, we must keep this complex in pristine condition, whether it be needed for experiments or otherwise. It must be ready to support future operations in whatever capacity Master Calyx requires. To that end, facility equipment will be maintained in stasis mode. Furthermore, a critical component for secure room access will be stored separately to defend against unauthorized entry. Well, I guess that's what we're going to be doing. Guess we gotta check on the locker now. You've located that, Demetrius. Let's go ahead and open the locker. Except we can't because we probably need to flip all the switches. The door to the locker swings open easily. Oh, okay, now. Oh, my. Let's just close that. Contains nothing of note. You quietly go shut the locker door. Yeah, let's just quietly close that again. Yeah, Shale, nothing of note. Have you found something? Oh, right, we did actually find something. Found the note, and maybe we can find where, open that up correctly. She said this place was smaller than the schematics said. Thank you. A misplaced note, was it? With instructions for accessing a secure room, no less. Seems we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the same time. There was no such room marked on the map, was there? No. A precautionary measure, no doubt. And if passwords are involved, I expect the access lift itself is concealed too. Maybe it's under this very convenient square? Rectangle? Whatever shape it is. Concealed? By electrope, you mean? Ah, could it be that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. Remember what Kikiwa used to say, Shale? Never trust an electrope surface. Electrope isn't always what it appears to be. You can pass right through electrope. Yeah. I think. Oh, of course. Electrope is how you altered the look of all Solution 9's floors and walls, isn't it? In which case, it shouldn't be too hard to disable. There we go. There's our secret room. Another door! I've managed to deactivate the projection, but the lock is another story. Didn't the note lay out the password protocol? I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. 2 people should prepare the lab terminals for input, while the rest of us look for passwords here in the office. I'll take the proto lab. Then I'll take the Deturo lab. Actually, it might be better if you stayed, Sphene. Your knowledge of Alexandria and its people could be needed here. Yes, you're right. If the passwords are hiding behind clues, that may be something I can help with. I can help too. I've lived my whole life in Alexandria after all. I will take the Deturo lab duty then. We can keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. Sounds good. Brilliant. You shall have the honor of entering the office password. Once we've determined what we need to input, take your place at this terminal. I'll stand by to guide Wooklamont and Kryl through the process. Wooklamot's gonna need a lot of help. Kryl can probably figure it out. You know, there was that display over there, the one with the gems. I thought since it was made of electrope, it might have some other purpose. But I couldn't find any switches or buttons to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out. Oh, well, obviously there's a missing stone. I mean, let's check the director terminal first. You have yet to discover enough clues to deduce the passwords. Try exploring the immediate area or conferring with your comrades until you have more information. Well, obviously there's a missing stone there. Keep calm and everything will be fine. Both of you are quick studies. I kept searching the drawers with the books and found a cube puzzle made of electrope. It's probably just a toy, but maybe... Yeah, let's solve the puzzle. You got it. Let's see, if I move this bit, then connect this circuit to that one, there. Huh? There was something inside. Well, I'm pretty sure, oh, of course it's gonna be Alexandrite. It's a pretty green stone, it might be Alexandrite. They say these gems were so treasured in the past that they named the kingdom after them. Here, you should hold on to this one just in case. So you actually have to talk to Gluja to find the puzzle? To solve this puzzle? That's interesting. You look at that. Demetrius. Okay, we already did those, so let's ignore that. Alright, Sphene. I should take a closer look at these reports. One might have hints to the passwords. I doubt it. Let's see if I can talk to Kryl and Wooklamont real quick. See if they have, see if they're actually in here. This is the Deturo lab. Yep, there's Kryl. Let's talk to her. Understood, Shale. But first I need to find a stool or maybe a sturdy box. Lala problems. Alright, let's go ahead and find Wooklamont. She's probably gonna have a lot more difficulty figuring this stuff out. Alright, Wooklamont. So, I just press this and nix this one, right? Hey, this isn't so bad. Yeah, well, this is, that's like Wooklamont level thinking right there. Anyway, it looks like we need to put this Alexandrite stone with the rest of the stones, and that'll give us the one of the passwords. Let's see. 2 jewels are embedded in this electroplate. You identify the blue stone as sapphire and the red gem as garnet. Of course they're gonna choose garnet, because underneath is, well, okay, maybe that's not what they were doing. But garnet is Final Fantasy IX, the princess in Final Fantasy IX, I think. This also appears to be an empty slot for another jewel to fill. Actually, maybe that's why they named all the Alexandrians after gemstones and stuff. Because of the Final Fantasy IX being princess being garnet. There appears to be an empty slot for another jewel to fill. Yes, put the Alexandrite in. Oh, looks like there we go. I guess those are the passwords for us. The gemstone fits snugly into place. Almost immediately afterwards, the glowing lines of a diagram appear on the display, accompanied by a short phrase. A decorative pattern? Obviously, it's the floor plan. As you continue to study the display, you realize that these shapes correspond to the rooms of the complex in which you now stand. This may be related to the passwords you were looking for. I can't read what this says, though. Glowing words appeared to be handwritten. Yes, I knew that jewel would come in handy. Let me see. Heat the stones? This must be the special meanings Alexandrians have for the gems. It's an old belief, I think, where each type of gem means something different. I bet if you asked, yeah, that's what I was gonna go do. Like, obviously you gotta ask Sveen, that's why she stayed there. She could tell you more about it. After all, even her name comes from a gemstone. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's... like, they really are holding her hand with these puzzles. Yes, if you have questions, you'll need only ask. Yeah, the symbolism of Alexandrite. Well, I was taught that Alexandrite represents the concept of protection. It is incidentally also the origin of Alexandria's name. Oh, and thinking this has something to do with the passwords? Do I have to go and examine all 3 of them? A sapphire and garnet as well, you say? Yes, they all have meanings. Alexandrite is said to be protection, sapphire is honesty, and garnet is devotion. We should try these words at the terminals and see if they're accepted. I certainly hope we're right. Alright, Shale, I got you what we needed. Apparently I just need to do this. You gain enough information for the passwords, yes. We're all set here. Wigglemot and Kryl are waiting for the passwords. Let's start with Wigglemot in the proto-lab. What word should she enter? The proto-lab is up top, and that's where the sapphire was, which was honesty. And the password for Kryl in the tutorial lab was down at the bottom, which was garnet, which is devotion. And lastly for us is Alexandrite, which is protection. Right, we have all 3 passwords ready. Now to enter them into the system at the same time. She got the stool. And there we go. Yes! Oh, I'm so glad that it worked. That secure room is the only place we've yet to search. If the data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. We'll venture in as soon as Wigglemot and Kryl rejoin us. Still waiting for the trap to be sprung. Alright, let's go and talk to everyone and then head inside. We did it! Thanks to you, and a little bit of thanks to me, I hope. Goloja, yes, you were very helpful. Great work, Brillian. Leave it to you to define passwords from an ornamental display. It was pretty obvious. Speaking of gemstone symbology, for Alexandrians, Sveen holds the meaning of eternal light. When my parents named me, it was with their wish that I become an unwavering beacon of hope for our people. To think on it now, I have ever shared that destiny with my other self. Well, that went well. Excellent clue finding, Berlian. Thank you very much. Alright, everyone. Time to board the lift and see what awaits us. Oh, just some more untold horrors. Man, that's a heck of a monitor
terminal
display.
Doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is. But whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form. These data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in Living Memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether.
And why are you an expert in all this now?
Much like solid ghosts that one can see and touch. The other method, which Kafkiwa employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body?
In the cloud.
The Endless are memories, and if memories are data, then...
Inside Electrope somewhere. In a world formed of data. Sure, let's go with that.
Yes, we suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electrope-based machine. We've seen such a realm before, after all.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
So this virtual domain, it would also be housed within the Meso terminal.
Oh, that's the name of the dungeon.
But how? I thought we shut down all the terminals in Living Memory.
Well, except for that one that was in the
You did.
castle.
And Kafkiwa's program performed just as she intended. The Meso terminal itself was deactivated, as evidenced by the failure of the device which was keeping Sphne's body in stasis. Be that as it may, we face a master of electrope engineering. That he managed to partition and protect the sector harboring his own memories is well within the bounds of possibility.
Let us say that the Meso terminal does indeed contain a second domain, and that Calyx himself resides there. This city, on the other hand, exists here in the source. That being the case, I thought perhaps we could prevent his remote interference by closing the gate to the Golden City, and thus severing the connection between worlds.
Except I tried to close it once already when I visited Living Memory. The process required administrative authorization, a restriction I assumed at the time had been imposed by the Queen.
But now you think Calyx might be responsible.
Just as I suspected. Even now, security transmissions from throughout the Keep are being tapped by the core system and routed elsewhere. Almost every single one has you as its focus.
Of course.
He's keeping track of the keyholder's movements.
I'm the main character.
Time's up. And what a waste of time it's been.
I mean, did you really think he didn't know we were here?
Hoping to find me by tracing security data? That will not be necessary. Through a not inconsiderable effort, I've taken your measure and prepared a force sufficient to subdue you. Come. I invite you to the upper reaches of the Meso terminal. The storage device which holds my memories is there. Break the memory bank and victory is yours. I, in turn, will seek to wrest the key from you with any and every means at my disposal.
And if we refuse this invitation?
I will wait and continue to convert Alexandrians into Endless. Consider the urgency of the situation and make the wiser choice.
Answer me one question, Calyx. The Endless Fiend. When she was queen, you had her face an impossible task, then manipulated her into using the key when she was at her most desperate.
Oh, that's how they're gonna spin this.
You can do all that. And why not whisk it away when her plans went to ruin? Why let it fall into our hands?
You pour salt in the wound. That disaster was a miscalculation on my part. As her end drew near, Sphene and her restructured memories have become one with the terminal's control systems. In that singular place, in that singular moment, she wielded an authority greater than mine. Thus she was able to shield you, the neighboring sovereign to whom she entrusted her nation's future, and the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key. I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation.
Yeah, except there's
not one more life, not one more future, not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me?
still dungeon and trial to do. And a quest before those, I think.
Sorry for losing my temper, but there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx. Whatever grand future he envisions, someone will be made to pay the price. And I won't let that happen.
Sounds good, I'm with you. Let's plan our next move. He's wrong if he thinks he's taken our measure, that's for sure. Does he not know I'm the main character?
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this. Even so, I must thank you both. On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
But especially me. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna get some weird, crazy cutscene, but no, that was the end of that. Phew! Well, that was an adventure. It may not have been by the method Shale was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find Calyx and what we need to do next. Indeed. Well, I remain curious about Preservation's research into the key. That is an investigation for another day. Also, Y'shtola's gonna want to go check out that lab. You can return with her later. Then let's head straight to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. Sounds good. Let's head back to the back room. Right, Tassos? And of course they're not gonna actually... Oh, they are actually gonna take me there. Okay, let's go and talk to everyone. Wrap up this quest, and I think that's gonna be all for today. I'm like really tired. And I think this is a good stopping point anyway. I've passed on the short version of events to our comrades so that we can all prepare for the challenge ahead. It was my other self who entrusted you with the key. Though she could not have changed who she was, the consequences of her final choice linger, empowering us to shape our own future. Shale has been out of sorts ever since we got back. I don't think she liked what Calyx said, but don't worry, I'll do my best to cheer her up. I'm sure you will, Gulja. It's time to put an end to this. Calyx won't stop until we stop him. The situation isn't the best out there, but at least we've come back to us safe and sound. Yes, I have, Erenville. Damn that bastard Calyx. He waited until I was this close before snatching away my moment of triumph. Her competitive side. In that infuriating, condescending way he spoke to us. We'll see whose time is up, we smug little weasel. Anyway, I know things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about preservation. That knowledge could come in handy in the days to come. Though I may not be able to contribute much to a direct confrontation, I mean to see this through with all of you, providing whatever support I can. Shale, you've been more than helpful throughout this entire thing. Okay, that feels like a decent place to stop. And also, I'm like really tired. I feel like I'm fumbling over way more of the words than I usually do. Plus, I was like crashing out about the puzzles, being like, you give us puzzles, then you literally give us the solutions. And then like the solution confused me more than it helped me. Or the puzzle, the hint confused me more than it helped me. Anyway, that's gonna be all for today. We'll try and get through everything next time. Yeah, you finished what's the next quest? One of our own is next. Yeah, so one of our own is the one before the dungeon and trial. So I think next time I'll just try and push through and finish the whole thing. I'll try and make sure I'm actually more well rested. But anyway, that's gonna be all for today. Hope you had a good time. Until next time, goodbye.